So everyone is talking about Final Fantasy right now, and it's been a while since I made a video like this, but I couldn't help myself. I really couldn't. I had to make the video.
I turned it up.
Asmongold this past Friday or Saturday playing Final Fantasy.
Look at that.
Had like over 200,000 articles reporting that he had over 200,000 viewers. They're tracking how much money he made in these articles. It's really weird. If you, I don't know why they're. It's a little bit intrusive. You have Annie.
Yeah.
She's doing great playing Final Fantasy, and with that, there's a lot of people, a lot of players asking, should I play Final Fantasy? Should I give it a try? 9.1 just came out this past Tuesday.
That's true.
Should I try out Final Fantasy? Which one do I play? And my answer to that has been, I think you should try it. As someone that makes WoW videos, I think you should try it. I think you should try Final Fantasy. You have Ashes of Creation, the test happening this Saturday. You have New World coming out soon. I think you should try these games.
Yeah.
But I want to talk about why I think it's important and why I'm saying that.
Okay.
And why I think Asmon and Annie and all these people trying out new MMOs is good for MMOs in general. And it's good for World of Warcraft if you're a big World of Warcraft fan like me. Despite the fact that I've been playing Final Fantasy in my free time at night, I think you should try it. And why I think it's good. Back in the Burning Crusade, I've been playing WoW since vanilla. Everybody says that, but I have. And there was somebody in trade chat that was just crapping all over WoW, and I was like, yeah, I hated, I played the game every day. And even back then, arguably an amazing expansion for its time, I remember wanting to play the next best MMO. Yeah. It was like, since then, people have been rooting for WoW's demise. Now, I was a little kid back then, and the guy said, WoW equals waiting on Warhammer in trade chat. That was Warhammer Online. I played that game too. In fact, at that time...
Yeah, that definitely didn't fucking happen. Like, I know there's a lot of other games like that have come out. And the thing is, like, I think that what's funny is that even back 10 years ago, people always said that the only game that would kill WoW was WoW. And I think that's basically it, right? I mean, because it's like... A lot of people don't want to, because MMOs are built on so much investment, there has to be a lot to push somebody away to stop playing that MMO and instead start playing another MMO. I think it doesn't necessarily, it can't be just as good. It has to be a lot better.
MMOs were coming out every week. You had like a new MMO every week. You had City of Heroes, City of Villains, Guild Wars, Age of Conan. You had... Wildstar, Rift, Warhammer Online, Aeon. There were so many that came out, and I played them all. Did I say Star Wars? There were so many of them. There were so many of them. It was absolutely outrageous. Yeah. And every time one of them was coming out, there was two sides of the fence. There was the people that said, this is going to kill WoW. It's the WoW killer. You've heard that so many times before.
Too many
times. Then you also had the people that would say, that game sucks. It's got cat ears or those little furry things.
I wonder who said that.
Even though we have pandas in WoW now and Worgans and go to Goldshire Inn on Moonguard and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Some crazy stuff going on in this game as well. But anyway.
I do think it's a little bit different, right? Because like whenever you do look, I still do believe, like if you look at the bunny girls in Final Fantasy, bro, that's literally a human female with bunny ears on. Like, that's it. This is not like a new, like a Pandaren is like it's like an anthropomorphic panda, right? Or like a Worgen is like, it's basically, it's like a wolf man. It's like a werewolf. Like, these are just like girls with bunny ears. Hot girls with bunny ears, which is why it's good.
This has been going on for quite some time. And the one advantage WoW has had for the longest time, the absolute longest time, is really the first major first mover advantage, right? There's been games before WoW, like EverQuest and Dark Age of Camelot, but WoW was the first big adopted MMO by the community and the world in general. And it had a big following already because of the Blizzard franchise and the Warcraft franchise, where some of these other games don't really have that. And because you have the first mover advantage, you get to pretty much get away with a lot of the mistakes that other MMOs today don't get to get away with, right? If there's any bugs in the game, when WoW came out, there were so many bugs in the game. I couldn't log in the game at all. I mean, that's really no different than sometimes how it is today. I couldn't log in the game.
It's the same with like streaming, right? Like the expectations with streaming and shit, that stuff, it's like way higher now than it used to be. Like back in the day, it used to be like, oh, you just turn on the stream and, you know, like you just play a game. And like just overall, as time has gone on, the expectations for like what you have to do have gone up substantially.
Characters fall to the earth. That still happens today. You know, there was all these little issues. There's no real end game content, but people were so bad at MMOs at that time. Most people were that 90% of the people didn't even get to max level during vanilla, right? It was only during the, you know, during TBC, or at least at the end of vanilla,
like
that by then there was things to do. Now people are so good at MMOs, they rip through the game, they get to the end game content, they get pissed off at all the bugs, and there's nothing to do at endgame because they still haven't developed everything yet, because it does take a lot of time to create an MMO. It's not an easy task that people say this game sucks and they immediately go back to WoW. They can always fall back on World of Warcraft. That's happened so many times that now players are very salty about MMOs, right? They think they have this experience that every other MMO that's not World of Warcraft is going to suck, so they don't even give it a shot and they crap all over it. Same thing goes with New World, right? New World, for example, I played the beta and there were some things in New World that I thought were
dog shit,
pretty cool, like the crafting and gathering. It was
like there were some things about like New World I thought was incredible in a lot of ways, but there were some other ways in New World that were dog shit. Like for example, dodging out of abilities. I'm sorry, but Dark Souls dodge mechanics do not belong in an MMO with latency. They just don't. Like, it doesn't work, it's always bad, and it's fucking garbage. Like, I'm sorry, it's just the truth. And it's been like this forever. Now, the Cash Shop and whatever, Guild Wars 2, I've never played Guild Wars 2. I'm talking about Dark Souls doesn't even do it right. And neither does New World. But the crafting, what he's saying here, I think New World definitely, the one thing that even people that don't really like New World a lot have said positive about it is that the crafting is good.
Much fun. I was just chilling in the woods with my boys, and we were I was just crafting, gathering all day. It's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly.
The quest in that game, however, at that time during the beta, was not that good, right? Every quest was like, you know, slay 30 pirates, collect 30 crates. And it was slay 40 pirates, collect 40 crates.
Whoa.
And it was over. I mean, how many pirates can exist? There's no way. There's just, the whole game is filled. I guess it is a pirate. They're all pirates. But for me, I was able to look past those issues because I started to realize over time that I want other MMOs. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but not that I dislike WoW or I don't want to play WoW. I want other MMOs so that now there's competition again.
True.
Think about it like this. And also, let's think about the irony in this. If you have an internet service provider in your area, especially if you live in California or somewhere in the US, okay? Sometimes you only have one internet service provider in your area. I had Spectrum. They suck. Spectrum was the worst internet service provider I've ever had, so bad that I had to move because I couldn't do anything during COVID. They didn't care when I called them and I said, hey, like I can't use the internet.
Because there's nobody else in the
videos, I can't stream, I can't really do anything. They didn't care because they were the only service provider in my area. They don't care about giving you a better deal. Their customer service sucks because they know that they're your only option.
You can't go anywhere else.
And to be honest, I can't imagine a world where Blizzard feels the pressure to innovate because for the longest time they've been.
This is the same with Austin. Google Fiber. This is how much competition there is in Austin for internet. Google Fiber installed a line in my house. If I ever want a Google Fiber in the future, absolutely free of charge. Like, and also like my internet bill is like $60 or something like that, which here in America is really, really, really cheap. And I'm also getting really good internet. There are a lot of people out there who are spending like twice as much for internet, and they're getting half as much as I'm getting.
Only MMO really that's been adopted by most players. There's other options. I've played them all, but in general, the hype that Final Fantasy is getting right now is something that we haven't seen in quite some time. Right? The last MMO that came out that had a lot of attention was maybe Bless Online. I mean, that one, you know. Now with Final Fantasy, it's getting a lot of attention because it's been out for a really long time and it already has a community.
That's not a good one.
I play the game and I've been playing, like I said, and I'm running around. There's no PvP really in the game.
That is not a good one.
There is, but there's not a big PvP following for the game. It's arguably, people have told me in the community that's not that great.
Yeah.
And
that's what I've heard too.
I don't really care about that. I'm exploring new places. I'm popping bottles of champagne.
My God.
When I got my little chugabum out, people are meeting me, playing me little songs. I'm taking pictures with little cat chicks with, you know, the furry ears, and it's a great time. I'm having a good time just doing something a little bit new. Even though I still play WoW every single day, I still play TBC and 9.1 every single day. Right? That's still the thing that I love to do.
That's nice.
But I know that if more and more people are open to trying these other games, it's only going to breed more competition for the industry, and it's only good for MMOs in general. It doesn't really have to be the next best MMO. And with New World, we have this issue with the quality of life purchases that you can make with the cash shop at some point that they might introduce or will introduce. And that doesn't mean as a player that if you buy the game and you play for like a month, you should dismiss the game overall. People are looking to like marry this next MMO. It's like, oh, if it has that, I will not even play it.
Well, there's a lot of people that just don't want to, they want to invest fully into a new game, and they want to know that the new game that they're investing their time into is going to have longevity. I think that's really what it comes down to, is they want things to have longevity, and they don't want to have to keep going back and forth to like one game or another game or other shit like that. They want to be able to just stick with one game.
There are some things in the game that might be really good. With Ashes of Creation, every time they show footage of that game, now it started off being really positive. Now everyone just spams Copium and KEKW. It looks so bad. It looks crappy. Even though it's in its alpha, there's so much negativity surrounding the game sometimes.
That's very true.
From a lot of people, right? You see it online. I'm sure the community of Ashes of Creation are very supportive of the product, but the outsiders look at it and say, this looks garbage, Copium. Dismissing the game, and maybe the game is...
I think that really what happened with Ashes is that people were unrealistically positive about it. And you have a lot of people who are like contrarian Andes, and now they are unrealistically negative about it. So neither camp of people is living in the real world. You see what I'm saying? Like, neither of them are living in the real world. They're both just they're both reacting to something that's not their own. Like, their thoughts are not their own. So that's my perspective on it. I think that the Ashes of Creation stuff, it is disappointing to see people that misinterpret it as much as they do, but it is what it is. I mean, people are going to think what they're going to think. I think people are mainly being negative about it because they don't want to be, they don't want to invest themselves into another new game. It's like cynicism, right? It's like they've just been frustrated by so many games. They're like, well, I don't want to get excited about a new game.
But is it worth trying? Of course it is, because there might be features in that game.
Yeah, they don't want the disappointment.
That when you go back to your main MMO, whether it be WoW or Final Fantasy, you'll look at it like, hey, how come our game doesn't have that? That's a really cool feature. I wish, why don't more MMOs have this feature? Right? That's what you want. We want competition. You're the customer, and the best thing that you can do, even if you're a gigantic WoW fan, is to vote with your dollar.
Yes.
If you want to, if you play an expansion, you don't really like it, or you play a patch and you don't really like it, it's not your thing, take your business elsewhere and show them that, hey, I want to play your product, but I'm having a lot of fun in this game.
It's not worth the money, right? It's that simple. Like, it sucks for me, right? Because like, whenever I talk about WoW, and whenever I like want to get a group together for something, like I can have like on my alt stream, right? I can have 20,000 people watching the stream, and I can't even get a group together to do like a 10-man dungeon or a 10-man raid. It's actually so sad, man. It's so fucking sad that you can't even get that many people together just to do a small little raid. And it's awful, man. It's absolutely awful. Everything reserved? No, I'm not talking about like, I'm talking about like retail WoW. Like, we can't do that.
Here, if you start implementing things that I enjoy, I'll come back. Yeah. You're not married to a game. It's not like it's this game or that game. You're just trying to get the best value for your money. I want to end it with this. If you're a WoW, long-time viewer, or you're a long-time WoW player, there's just so much. There's a lot of toxicity in WoW, man. Like, the community itself. I don't mean like the players are toxic to other players, although that exists in every game.
Oh yeah.
Within the community itself, there's just so much negativity.
Nah, bro. Like, WoW community is so bad. Like, I think that anybody who doesn't realize that is actually delusional. Like, the WoW community is actually terrible. Back in the day, so here was the arms race, right? Back in the day, you would have RBGs. And then you had people paying each other to throw other RBGs. Then you had people getting each other Skype, using Skype, and then getting their IP addresses, and then DDoSing each other. And then the DDoSing turned into doxing, and there was a bunch of really, really bad stuff. And if you played RBGs back in the day, from like 2012 to 2015 or something like that, around those dates, probably 2010, 2011 even, this was your experience. There was DDoSing constantly. You had to play with a proxy. And I quit because of that. Because I said, I'm not going to download a proxy to play a video game. I don't want to do it. Like, no, I refuse to do this. And I didn't. I stopped playing because of that.
In general, if I was a brand new MMO player and I went to a Final Fantasy stream and I said, hey, should I play this game?
Oh, and then also on top of that, a lot of the PvP players, the RBG players, there were girls that I knew that obviously did RBGs, and they would get nudes from these girls, and anytime one of these girls would go into a stream, they would immediately know that that girl was in the stream and start trying to spam links to her nudes. Like, that's crazy, dude. Absolutely crazy.
If I go to a WoW stream and I'm a brand new MMO player and I say, hey, should I try WoW? All the WoW players are gonna laugh at me and say no. Right? That's what would happen. That's generally what would happen, right? And if we just keep crapping on all these new products and not giving them a chance and not trying to support competition, we're not going to get that product. We're just going to keep getting the same old copy pasta WoW expansion. I love Arena. I love WoW PvP, but it's a copy pasta, you know? And on top of the copy pasta, there's a bunch of garbanzo systems with that, you know? Things that make
the last time that Blizzard innovated the game was in Legion. That's the reality. Like, you have a little bit of innovation with Covenants, but realistically, the last time that Blizzard innovated the game was Legion. That's, 6 years ago. Like, BFA was dog shit. Shadowlands has been primarily just the same stuff. Like, they've got a few cool things, but like overall, it's pretty much the same stuff. There's been no real innovation.
Even less enjoyable to experience the
Corruptions,
game, right?
however,
There's no innovation in the industry. Because there's no competition. And I think it's time that we change our viewpoint on that and start supporting other new projects. It's about playing a fun game. It's about having fun. That's what video games are about. It's not about picking sides. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
I'll watch this at another point. We need change. Blizzard has no idea what they're doing. Great video title. All right. Smiley face from Savix. Agree on promoting other MMOs so Blizzard Activision starts working on more on the product. Monopoly sucks even in gaming. True. I want something to teach Blizzard to not ruin PvP repeatedly. The current state of it with the insane gearing is shameful. I had a buddy wanting to get into the MMO and asked about WoW, and all I could tell him was, now's not the time, man. Maybe in the future. I gotta run myself and I gave Final Fantasy a try. I'm having fun. Started Final Fantasy a few days ago. It's worth trying out. LMAO WoW players wouldn't even say no. They would say get wrecked. I feel like people just play it to get revenge on WoW. I think that's very true. There are a lot of people who are just so tired of WoW and they just want to play another game because they're sick of WoW. Like, that's definitely accurate. I feel that way for sure.